There's been a crowd around this Chevy all day.
Yeah, say that dozer.
But it's an operation to get this junk out of here. Today I'm up by Fall City, Nebraska, and they're auctioning a farmstead. This has been in the family for 4 or 5 generations. Last truck he farmed with was a 73 International. It's sitting down there. He bought it brand new, and the one he used before that was a 66 C10, and he just parked it in the barn, never traded it in. Up here, it's going to be a really different crowd. I don't really know anyone, and so I'm curious to see what any of these old things will bring. So let's take a look around. This was their active farm until the old man died. It's a farmhouse. It's got the good galvanized steel siding on it, not this vinyl garbage they sell today. 72, I think. Galaxy 500. That's a really neat car. Just a bare bones 2-door hardtop. This one doesn't even have side trim. Realistically, a parts car by this point. What a neat configuration. Total stripped model. I believe 69 was the last year you could get the 2-door sedan. Then 70 and later, base models were hardtops. Little International 3444. Little gas tractor. This is the 61 Impala, 4-door sedan, very appealing colors, white and red. She's a V8, probably guaranteed seized. Milford Votech sticker and a 74 inspection. Look at the inside of this one. Wow. Seat's not even torn up. Had the plastic on them. This one's even got the plastic on the door panel. The dash is just pristine. Mileage shows 97,000. 3 on the tree, which not quite as desirable as a Power Glide. There's probably a complete Power Glide somewhere to rob the pieces out of a parts car. That's actually a really good car. Very well preserved. Little chicken sheds and all kind of leftovers from farming. Really, really neat property. Kind of hilly. Old grown in place. Don't find too many like this around anymore. Kind of like walking back in time. 39 Chevrolet 2-door coach. Ford called it the Tudor. Chevrolet called it the coach. Little 2-door sedan. 51 or 2 model. This one's got the heater. Does it have a radio? Radio is a super rare, desirable option. which I think speaker, music, Fidelity Auto. If that doesn't say radio, I don't think anything does. Is that, yeah, it's the heater on the bottom. Some of these had a separate, like a speaker assembly. This place was like 4 hours away, so I drove a while. Don't have a huge amount of time for filming. Parts car at this point. This one's real similar to the one that Joe's hillbilly pickup started out as. It was a 39 two-door sedan early in life. This one is the knee action. It's a Master Deluxe, not a Master 85. I believe these little grill pieces are accessories, and the horseshoe guard. That one's sadly cracked apart. I just found a grill for one of these in a junk pile the other day. It's 51. Got the Fulton 1000 on her. Standard model horn button. I don't care if it rains or freezes, because I got my plastic Jesus. Alice Dozer. Probably the first one of those I've ever shown on the channel. See stuff like that, probably guarantee there's iron buyers out at the sale. McCormick Farmall 400, old International Combine. Corn and soybean special. That old thing probably did a lot of work in its day, but it will guaranteed never harvest another field again. Here's the old Dodge. $600. It's considered a medium duty truck, but it's relatively low GVW. Now this one's a gasser. What is that thing? Probably a 383 maybe. These big block displacements are real confusing to me. Read the whole Wikipedia article on them and still don't think I understand them. Now you could get a diesel version of these, and if you ever find one, these old Dodge diesel emblems are like $800 to $1,000 on eBay. This is a later year one because it's got the push button door handles. So this would probably be, I don't know, 67, 8, somewhere in there. 72. There it was right there for me to read. 72. Boy, that thing was a dinosaur as far as the styling went. Oh wow. There's old trucks hiding everywhere. '48 through '50 Dodge. That's pretty good, honest old truck, half ton. Now these Dodges, you could order a body colored bed, but it cost extra. So the very standard models of these had a black painted bed. You can see just a little remnant of that paint left. Green was a real popular color. But if you were a value conscious buyer and you wanted to hide the fact that you cheaped out on the bed, you could buy a black truck and it wouldn't have such a poverty appearance. These you could get with the 4.5 inch bolt circle or the 5. This one's got the 5. Very unique specific wheel to these trucks. That thing you'd have to be super careful getting out of there. Shore it up and not lose it down the embankment. This one, 39 to 47, they built these. This one I think is comparatively early. Could actually block and tackle off to that to stabilize the 49 when you pull it out. Alright. More windstorm flattened barns. Little concrete block building. Usually those are milk houses. They actually built lots of buildings out here for their farming. There's supposed to be a cab over truck hiding in one of these, hopefully not the flat one. Sale's gonna start anytime. So once they get going on the wagons, I'll hunt through the barns for cab overs. Wow. The whole thing just plumb fell over. 73 Ranchero. Thing's been there a long time. 97, that thing was on the road. Could you imagine? Ranchero 500. Sustained damage when the barn fell. Even without that, it would still strictly be a parts car. Old farmsteads like this, it's super neat to look around. Now the flattened building. Nothing lasts forever. The farm guys. Looks like a little square baler down here. Super tiny little case seed drill. That's got to have some very specialized usage. You wouldn't need much of a tractor to pull it. And the baler is a 435. Somewhere out here there's supposed to be some motorcycles that were a little bit uncommon. Try and find those. make the circle around. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 row corn combine. 5 rows at a time. Can you imagine? A few little antique relics. It's tricycle. That thing is not too easy to tell. Don't want to rub too hard on some of those without wetting them down, because you might rub the letters right off. It's a specified manufacturer's chassis. A lot of these guys would build out of car frames from 1930s. Vehicles. That one's actually a factory made. Intended for agriculture. Wow. Got the rims and tires. There's a whole nother side down there. This building just built into the hill. A little concrete ramp. So much to see. Alrighty. Down the big hill. See what's on the other side of this barn. I just built the little pillars for it to set on. See all the individual tool marks. Represents a time period of history that we'll never see again. Look at that big beam. They just laid it down, and there's how they joined them. Just fascinating work. Here we've got the little Gandhi planter. It's a 2-row. Wow. A wagon wheel. What a time capsule. A lot of it's used up junk that'll never be anything. Probably argue all of it is, but just kind of neat to see it where it laid for decades. This barn, this is freshly collapsed. Looks like they've been stacking and sorting, maybe harvesting some barn lumber out of it. That's kind of neat. At least put it to use for rustic builds instead of just burning it for it to all go to waste. Some of this stuff, people buy it. Takes some serious equipment to get out of here. There's a little hay trolley. That's too bad that thing got bent. There's some value in those. Oh, we have spotted motorcycles. Here are the motorcycles. Oh no. Whoa. Wasn't me. The hills have claimed some casualties. See if I can set those back up and film away here. This canoe's kind of cool. Alright, we've righted the dominoes. Little Yamaha. I took the chance to kick these when I set them up, and this one's seized, so it'll need a rebuild. 5,255 miles, which is about right for one of these. And the Honda XL 500S. This thing, little 1982 registration sticker. Sat a long time. May of 2002, they're still riding that. Patched together the exhaust. This one still turns, so it's got a little life. Pull the dents out of the gas tank. That did not happen when it fell over. AMF Harley. Not much of an enthusiast bike there. Lowest tier Harley. 79 sticker on it. 75 license plate on a 74, so they only rode that on the street 1 year. And then it was out in the hills after that. 2,700 miles. That's a lot of miles to go off-road. Thing's probably plumb wore out. That's why the head's off. Try to kind of map a place like this in my head. Way I don't miss any barns. This here was the workshop. You can see bits and pieces laid all over. I have a lot of respect for guys like this that are able to keep things going and repair parts and make parts. There's some serious knowledge that goes away when one of these guys passes on. Nothing lasts forever. This is cool. Overhead sun analyzer. That's a rare piece. Almost every one of these has a cabinet base. So you guys know I'm into my vintage gas cans. This is a bit of an odd one here. They sold Prestone antifreeze in a gallon, and then you could peel the labels off, use it as a gas can. That's very, very rare to find one of these that still has the label intact. Most of these they peeled off when they put them over to gas can use. I've heard of guys taking compressed air and getting most of the way straightened out, so maybe try and buy that old thing and give it a try. There's a Sioux valve grinder. For a farm shop way out in the sticks, this is actually fairly well stocked for tools and equipment. There's some spare Dodge parts. Little baby propane tank. The doors are kind of rough. They'd be flea market pieces. The pickup door has that rounded corner. If you ever see one with a squared corner, those are panel truck. And I'm looking for a pair of them. Those grills used to sell at the flea market, but we lost our venue there at Park City, just north of Wichita, so flea markets have never been the same. There's been a crowd around this Chevy all day. Try and wait till it thins to film around it, but it hasn't yet. Pretty neat to think of that old thing being something they farmed with. And it miraculously didn't get beat up and destroyed and run into the ground. Find one of these with fenders and rockers still in it. That doesn't even happen down in my area, let alone up here. Look at that. It's just so preserved. 02, so it's turned over. Taylor Chevrolet, Humboldt, Nebraska. Wow, this thing is just a time capsule. With the fill gas clip, the Johnson C beer, little wood grain gauge set, wild cherry cough drops, and a ashtray full of unfiltered Camels. Man, it still has his work clothes and the fire stick rack. What a time capsule. Yep. Phillips 66, 88,000 miles. That was just a good old sweetheart of a truck. Amazing. Still turns. If she'll rock, she'll run. What a time capsule. Old farm shed's a place to accumulate debris. Always look up in these and wonder if there's any porcelain signs stuck in the rafters. Usually not. That truck is something else. Neat vehicle, but the market right now is really, really soft. I got a buddy that's got one of these for sale. It's a good short bed, and he wants $5,500 with a good spare engine and not really any bites. So neat as it is to look at one, and neat as it would be to buy one, right now not a lot of market action on projects. Barely any on parts either. So we have a 69 Caprice vinyl top car, Rust Bucket Deluxe. Look at that. That thing is sunk and sunk and sunk. Sunk some more. Straight column, crank window. Raccoons have been in here and ripped up the upholstery. This is really similar to that gold one of mine. This is a very base model for a Caprice. Crank windows, 350. Guaranteed seized or your money back. This old thing does have cruise control, no tilt column, very basic car. You can see the raccoon footprints. It's a neat car, but not sure what I'd really do with it. I got that 69 wagon, and it's already a big block, and I have a parts car that's got pretty much everything it needs. Sure wish that was a 67, but they can't all be. That's kind of neat. Old Skull Gas propane tank, of course sold by Skelly, and that thing is hooked up to, what even is that? Compressor, some sort. Got the little rain sheltered tool board for it. If anyone of you knows what that is, the old setup, sure comment below and clue us in. I want to ask the family if I find them. It'd be super neat to see if there were any old pictures from this place when it was a working farm. Just seldom ever see this amount of buildings and see them built in the hills real neat like this.
Take your Allen wrenches and drill bits both. Yep, so your choice, so much a box, you take your pick. 2.5, 2.5.
It's the milking barn. These all have the same smell. I can't describe it in the film. Don't have smell-o-vision. But if you ever stood in one, you know the smell. I was down at the motorcycles, corresponding with my friends that are interested in those, and Missed a Dodge truck selling, and they told me this thing brought $100. So that tells us the iron guys won't be too belligerent out here.
$6.9. The number 17, it's a 1949 Dodge right there. It'll be number 17 up there on your bill of sale and stuff up there. $500, $600, $500, hooked up now. 6, 7, 8, 8, 9,000, 23, 2.5, 3, down 2.5, 3, 2,300, 23, 3, 2.5, and 3. Sold at 22, 50, 88. Yeah, so $500, $100, 200, all the money, 3, 3, 4, 11, 12, 11, 400, 1100 to die. So $1,100. 119. So Farmall, we got the loader and all right there with it. $100 and a half. $100, 50. 2.5. Sold at $200. 61. That little Ferguson. $100 and 50, 100, 110, 20, 110, 20, 110 and 20, 110 and 20, 110 and 20, so $110, 36, 36. Right there, see that little barrel right there on the side of the tractor. Sell that barrel, $1, $2, $2 bill, $2, $3, down 2, 3, sold $2, 98. Sold $160. 61, is that right? 61's the buyer.
I missed the scraper. It was 3,250. What would you do with it?
This will be number 16. 1974, it'll be number 16 on your bill of sale inside. When you get it, that's an international right there, 1974, it'll be number 16 in there.
You got a title for
Yep.
that?
Title, we got titles for everything besides the flatbed trailer out there. $500, $600 on it. $500, $600. You buy it as it is, guys. $500, $600. $653. Sold them $600. 25. 25's the buyer. Now we'll go inside the building.
I told her, I said,
On the cab over right there, $2,500 on it. $2,500. Hotel, $500, $1,700. $1,700. Sold $1,600. Number 30. Yeah, number 13 on this when you do your bill of sales up there, 1986 Cutlass. Odometer reads a little, I think a little over 50,000. Right there, guys, on the 86 Cutlass. Put some tires on the back. Somebody did back there. I'm not sure that they fit, but they're going to go with it. Here, so that Cutlass $7,800. Down 7,800 on the money. 7,800. 5,001. 51. 5,100. 51. 5,100. 51. 51. 51. Down 51 and 2. 51 and 2. 51 and 2. 51 and 2. 52. Sold the car 5,100. 129, 5,100. On this windmill here, 25, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 40, 30, 40, 30, 40, 40, so 30 bucks. 42s and iron 40 said no brakes though. Right here, guys, we're not guaranteed. They said it ran, you're going to buy it that way, no guarantees though. But they said they did drive it down here from up there, so you're buying it that way. $200, $300, 2, 3. I'm going to $405. So $400, 38 so iron, $400. It is $50, $75, $7,500. $7,500, $100 to you. $100, $200. $125, 15, 125, 15, 275, 300, and $300, $275, and then 3, total 275. 61's a buyer, 6-1. 51 Chevy. Be number 11. When you pay on your paperwork sale bill or bill of sale inside, you'll be number 11. 51 Chevy right there, buying like it, 2.5, 300. 350, number 3. So that next one, number 10, it's a 1939 Chevy. $100 and a half, $100, $300, sold $300, Dave. Number 6. See that dozer. It is an Alice dozer. That semi-trailer down there does have some parts for it. You'll get them right with the dozer. Right there, buy it as it is. $200, $300. 2, 3. I'm a $200 3. Down 2, 300. Down 2, 300. On the dozer. $200, $300 3. 3, 300 bucks and a half. $100, 50. $150. 50. $75. $50. 75. 50. 75. 25. $30. 20 for 30. 30. 30. 10. 15. 10. 15. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 15. $20. 15, sold $15. 86, a buyer 86. Number 9, 1961 Chevy Impala. On it.
I'm out. If it was on flat ground, I'd buy it, but it's an operation to get this junk out of here.
100.
100 buyer 1100.
You pick some up, do you?
Yeah. Here and there.
You got the little international tractor. You only get $1,000, $950. $950 down, $1,050. $10, $1,000. 119. Number 8, 1972 Ford Galaxy. Right there. 2, 3, $400 4. 2, 3, 4. $300 4. All the money now. $300, $400, $600. $609. $600, $69. 5, 400. $4,500. $4,500. All the money now. $400, Just along the building here, you take your choice. Little propane tank and all's in, so much a piece. Doors, yep, doors, fenders, there'll be so much a piece. You take your pick out of there. 10, 15, 150, 175, 175, 450, 23. 2 times takes that door and the front end. 2 times the money. Need number 3. When can do your sheets up when you pay up there. It'll be number 3. It's a 1966 Chevy. It was a one-owner truck, guys. They said when he got a new one, he pulled it in there and parked it. We hooked a little jump box on the cables itself, and the truck turned over just doing that. So that's the way you'll buy it right there. I got 20. Got a title. Yep. Dude. $2,500, $3,000 down, $2,500, $3,000, gotta go, 97.8, 97, 900, 97, 97, 8, 97, 8, 98, solar truck, $9,700, 27's the buyer, 9,700. We got a Caprice over here. Number 4 is a 1969 Caprice. Again, guys, got the titles and everything for it right there. Sell that car to you, 2.5, 300, 350, 350, sold it away, $300.
119.
119. Sell the stuff along the outside of that building. I got 275, gonna be 300, and 3 quarter, and 3 and a quarter, 3 quarter, and $300 and a quarter. Sold it $300.
34.
34 is the buyer, 34.
Yamaha 900, Honda 700, Harley 600.
Now we'll show you that corn picker. 510, money's home, 5 10 on 10, 5 10 on 10, 10, $5. 86. Anybody else want anything out of here? Sold them $40. Right there it is, guys. When we turned the air conditioner on a little bit, it seemed like it was blowing cold air. A lot of dust came out. Out of it, we didn't leave it on very long. But right there it is, guys. Case at 7110, guys. Right there, we used it, moving stuff around, move that storage container out so we get that Chevy pickup and stuff. Didn't have any issues with it there or anything. So $11, nobody else. We're gonna sell it. $11, $12, $12, $31,000.
I didn't get it.
One more time, 31,000. Sold the tractor, 30,500.
It went with the combine. They haven't sold the bean heads yet.
1, 2, 3. That's right there. We were using it around here the other day. We'll guarantee it to start and run for you. You'll buy it that way, guys. We pulled stuff around out back with it and stuff. We guarantee it to run and stuff. With the grinder mixture is hooked on it there. We unhooked it and drove it down here right there. So guarantee that to run to you. It's a 1066 Farmall International right there. $6,000. Yep, goes with the blade. Does anybody want that blade separate, or we're going to go ahead and put it with the tractor? You're going to buy the tractor, the blade, and all right there. $5,000, $6,000. Anybody else? $9,000, $9,500. $9,000, $9,500. $9,500 down here. $9,500. What do you weigh? $9,000. 83 is the buyer. Here's an 826 German. Guys, same deal. We started running. This tractor does not have a key though. They jumped it across the starter, fired right up and ran. Right there, guys. You're gonna buy it that way, but $4,500. Full tractor, $4,500. 82 is the buyer. 82. $500, $750 go. $500, $7.5. $500, $750. $7,500. And now $7,500 down there. $7,508. Told me way $750. 69's the buyer.
the entire contents of this hay barn. Not that I have to take them all, but for $3, picking rights. I was hoping upstairs here there might be a porcelain sign or something cool, but just a bunch of random assorted lumber. For the $3 that I spent for this building, I got 3 wheels, 2 Chevy, a Mopar, and a bunch of copper tube for scrap. So here's the remains of what's presumably the old Plymouth. Unfortunately, this was the fate of a lot of these old 30s cars. They weren't really worth anything as vehicles, but if a farmer had one around, they'd knock the body off and turn this into a hay trailer of sorts. And so unfortunately that body's probably shoved in a riverbank or buried or any of the number of things that they used to do with them. So as the title of this video says, and you saw it definitely in the footage, the market was pretty crazy on this auction at both ends of the spectrum. You had your $15 bulldozer and your $3,200 paddle scraper. And then not to mention the auctioneer almost dropping the hammer on the Case 7110 at $11,000 and then it going on to sell for $30,000. You had a cab over truck, that really nice barn find original vehicle, only bringing $1,500, and then at the opposite end of that building, 80s Cutlass bringing $5,000. And I know for some of you old timers that's just crazy to think that it was that way, but that's where we're at. Cab overs have been popular for a long time, and I'm not sure just if the market is saturated on them or if the presentation of it sunk in the dirt like that. But anyway, regardless, that was how it happened. The market is very soft right now, so I bid a little on the 61 Impala and then let it go. And a lot of that had to do just with the terrain out there. It was so difficult to get those things out, and with no equipment and being on my own without Joe, I just had to back off. It's never a mandate to buy a car at a sale. Obviously, you guys see I don't buy tractors or equipment, and so pretty much it was down to the motorcycles, and I'm not a motorcycle guy necessarily, so I called one of my buddies and he said, hey, go to this price on the Yamaha, this price on the Honda, and I ended up getting him the Yamaha and delivered it down here, and he's happy as punch. So what I bought, I only had $185 in, and I've already sold chainsaw and a weed eater out of that. So I got the C4 transmission from probably a spare for that Ranchero that's got the 302 or 351 Windsor bolt circle, really cheap on it. I'll probably just send it away for a core. Got these neat old newspaper plates. I think they're cool. A lot of people probably wouldn't care, but that old aluminum preserves pretty well, whereas newspaper just crumbles. And I've got another stack of those. I just think they're kind of cool to look through, tell the history of the time they're from. Lotted with my chainsaw was this little ATV spreader. They're $150 new. If anybody's local and wants that thing, I'd take $40 for it. Used once and it's working. So my $3 What's It barn, I got 2 Chevrolet wheels, and I got 1 Mopar wheel, and then a whole batch of copper tubing, which I already sent with my dad for him to cash out at the scrapyard. My dad doesn't really ever ask for anything for helping me, and so I always give him the old junk, batteries and copper and things, so he can have a little something for the time he puts in helping me with tasks around here. Probably the best piece I got was this little bench, so you can take an engine apart and set your connecting rods and valves and things in there. Childers Auto Supply, phone 623, perfect circle power service, in case you can't read that under the dirt. A lot of you probably remember back in the day, you'd put your snow tires on at the beginning of the season, and then at the end of the season you'd take them off and store them. And so obviously with the white paint there, those are the spares for the 61 Impala. You guys saw the old 33 Dodge chassis, and so in one of the barns I found this old dash cluster. It's been sitting a while, it's got some dirt and stuff in it, definitely needs rebuilt, so that'll go on eBay. And there are a few places that restore and refurbish those old vintage instruments. Underneath the one building, for a whole $3, I got what I believe are the 33 Dodge fender skirts. I haven't exactly been able to identify them yet, and even though they're in very poor shape, those are fairly easy to build with basic sheet metal tools. I'll put them on eBay and someone can use them for patterns or templates and replicate them. Also under that building, for my $3 wonder pile, I got this neat old antique pry bar, which will still be obviously useful around for dismantling things. Couple rollers, got the antique tin funnel, and of course I did buy the old gas can. That'll go up on the wall. For whatever bizarre reason, I also have a thing for collecting flattened cans. This old 2-gallon can, it'll go in that collection, probably go up on the wall someday. Also in my $3 barn, I found this old Electrolux sweeper, probably realistically just scrap, but I saved it because it's got sort of a neat little badge on it. I've got a collection of those that Gordon actually gifted me, which was very gracious of him to do. And each one of those, they're just a relic of their time, and in my mind, a bit of a tombstone of the things that they came off of. This one's pretty neat because it lists the offices in New York, New York, the factory in Greenwich, Connecticut. It's just a relic of a time when we used to actually still manufacture things here in this country. I bought this mobile battery maintainer, so this would have come on its own shelf, which obviously isn't here, but that's fairly easy to build, and so I think I'll make that a winter project. You guys know I've been collecting things for a mobile gas station. I've got the old shield sign that my dad's cousin willed to him, and then I bought an old gas pump and a lot of other things along the way, and we bought out a concrete block plant, and that's something that my dad and I, as we have time, would like to do. So every one of these mobile pieces I find around and collect toward that. Just one more piece toward the project. Radiator was up in the loft of one of the sheds. I got it for $5. This old heater. Again, the Hades. Their little logo had a devil on it. And of course, hell's hot, so you get the reference. And that was just a creative marketing thing of the time. Let me know, which cars did you think were cheap? Trucks, equipment. Which ones did you think were way over? Did I screw up not buying anything? Or was I smart just to buy the motorcycle and bring it home and punt and cash out for what I had in it and make a friend happy? Yeah, I just never seen an airplane propeller style fan blade before, so picked them up.
That's what they used on the drones in the 50s.
When Sears and Roebuck did the house deliveries, right, that's what they dropped them out of, yeah.
Tires is probably all it needs.
A little more than that.
Maybe just some good tires.